Welcome back to Sticks and Strings. I'm Naomi.
I'm Beth.
I'm E.
And it's happy birthday, Beth! Day. Her birthday's technically Monday.
For my birthday, I thought I would give all federal employees the day off.
That's right.
A national
So
holiday
Monday,
on my birthday. So you don't have to go to work.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
celebrate.
There's no mail. There's no bank.
I've been seeing pictures of the balloon fiesta this past week. I have a good friend that helps out there. She was riding the balloon this weekend.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm like,
Nice.
Yeah, there's a
jealous.
there's a couple of pictures on my Facebook feed that a couple of friends sent that I shared on there. But I read an article about that one of those bees, the special shapes from those little bees, that somebody tried to steal it. A guy had left, and I guess he went to an early morning, flying meeting at 6:30 or
The
whatever.
pilots all have to go to a meeting in the morning.
And so he had the truck with a trailer with the little bee in it, the balloon all packed up in there, and he left his iPad in the truck also. So he went to this meeting, and somebody came along and stole the truck and stole with the trailer and the balloon and everything. And fortunately, because he had left his iPad in the truck, they were able to track it, and they found
The way
it.
I did Eli's phone.
Yeah, that's right. I was like, somebody tried to steal the bee.
They probably didn't even realize what it was.
Yeah.
Just being stupid.
Oh, I think you
Yeah.
did.
Okay, so we're going to celebrate you.
Okay.
I have a very unceremoniously wrapped present. Because you know how I am.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of gift bags, but they were all Christmas,
Yeah.
or they were happy birthday, and they were this big. And
So,
it's too
while
big.
she's getting that out, I made one of these for me, and since I had the stuff, I made one for Beth.
Oh, yeah.
Yay!
Look what I got for my birthday.
So this is unceremoniously wrapped. Wait, hold on. I gotta check to see if there's a price tag on it. Oh, there is a price tag.
And I told her, I don't know what's going on. I can't sew
You
a
have a pen?
straight line.
Somebody have a pen?
No.
Not with me. No.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I do, but it's like in my
Oh,
bag
that's
in the
okay.
bottom
My
of my bag.
my purse is way back. Okay, I got the. I have the price tag on. Wait.
And I told her, I can't sew a straight line.
Happy
and she
birthday.
goes, "Eh." And that's the one she has. I had other problems with this one, but,
Okay, here's your. Look at this birthday bag. Isn't this beautiful? It's compostable.
It's biodegradable.
Yes. It's a very green wrapping. Yeah. So.
Oh, Rugs of the
Oh.
Southwest series.
So
And
pretty.
look what's on it. 3 sisters.
That's cool. They're like Kachina figures.
Yeah.
And it's a whole kit.
It's a whole kit.
I forgot that they sold those up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got one. Remember,
Oh,
I got one
cool.
for myself last year. So we saw that. And Mark said, "It's from both of us," and I helped pick it out. He wanted me to make sure that I said that on camera. So everyone out there, my husband Mark helped pick this one. Well, Eli helped too, but he helped. I had a couple of options, and we decided we liked that because he thought it was funny because it has the 3 sisters on it.
And it has, it's called Yei, is that right?
Yay, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say it.
Yay.
Yay.
Yei. Yeah,
And it
it's
even
pronounced
comes with
Yei.
everything. The ones I bought
Yeah.
don't come with everything.
So it comes with all the threads.
And I think, if I remember, like from mine, it's like, it's full coverage behind the design.
I was wondering why there was
Yeah,
so much of that.
That's why there's so much of the tan color. That's the way mine was as well. But I've got a corn row thing, a corn stalk.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
this is cute.
I'm going to go first. Since I gave her that bag, here, give me your bag.
Oh, that bag.
So,
I thought you wanted this bag to wrap it again.
I started,
very
I remember
fancy
I showed
wrapping
you this
bag.
before, and I was working on this, which I had to keep walking away because it was making me mad.
I'm going to sneeze. I'm sorry.
And I showed on,
It's this compostable bag.
Try not to sneeze. Sorry.
I showed on my video how when I had put this bottom part on, that it was like this much too long. Just, stuff going on. And then I said, well, I have this already. I'm going to go ahead and make it because, you know, for her birthday. And I missed a thread. So hers is backwards from mine, and it doesn't have a fancy back. But I keep buying bags.
I don't want a fancy bag.
I don't even. Yeah, well, never mind.
I know we haven't made one for you.
I
like those sunflowers. Those are really pretty, though.
I loved these sunflowers. This was from a fat quarter two fat quarters that I got at Hobby Lobby, and then this one would have been with the flowers back here, but I cut it the wrong size. So I had to make the bigger one.
Improvise.
I had to make the bigger one, the sky one. They're so pretty sky.
I like it.
Yeah.
And she loves blue.
Yeah.
When you picked up your bag, the one that one, and you held it up, I thought that the zipper, show it to the camera. I thought the zipper was a zipper made out of measuring tape. Because I guess the little lace holes.
It's a fancy zip, and this one is Chuck the Duck.
Oh, I
Chuck
see.
the Duck is for Fat Quarter Shop's duck, and this is
Fat Quarter Shop or the Missouri?
not Fat
Missouri
Quarter
Star.
Shop, Missouri Star Quilt Company. And this is also a fancy zip, but it's a different pattern.
But Chuck the Duck is actually a chicken. Did you know that?
Does it matter?
No, I'm just saying it's a chicken that quacks. I'm just saying. I'm just saying it's being accurate.
So, Priscilla from Stitching with the Housewives put out a wedding cake, free wedding cake pattern. And she challenged people to make it for a different holiday. If you made it by Wednesday, you had the opportunity to get a prize or whatever. And I tried. Because I had already, when I'd seen it, said, oh, I want to make that like looking like a birthday cake, you know? And I started working on it and got this far and said, I have too many other things to stitch. I don't care. But it's going to look cute. Instead of flowers everywhere, I'm going to put balloons.
Cute. I don't know why I was thinking that you were talking about an actual cake. That you were going to make a cake.
Well, I am going to make a cake.
I know. That's why I'm so confused. I was like, why would she's going to turn a wedding cake into Beth's birthday cake? Is that what she's talking? That's why I looked over and I was like, oh, I see. The wedding cake. It's a pattern.
It's a pattern.
I'm so confused.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I did that, and I probably will not finish that until Beth's next birthday. And then that goes with something else. The sewing bee. I'm doing this for my sampler camp piece. I plan to eventually do this berry because I like berries. And I've gotten, that's not correct. Is it?
I've gotten this far.
This is how far I am. I don't have any wings on this poor little bee. Somebody plucked his wings. But there's a blue flower up here.
I saw something about a couple that had like a bumblebee that didn't have any wings, and it was like, I guess they were
A
keeping it
special
like a
needs
pet.
bumblebee.
Yeah, it didn't have any wings.
The color that is charted is ecru, and I don't think it's going to show up on this fabric.
Yeah.
It doesn't show up on this one.
I was going to say I don't see wings on that bee anyway.
Yeah, you have to look really close, and you can see them on this one. And I was like, well, that's kind of lighting, so I might use a different color. I'll get my ecru and figure it out, but it's not important right now. And then trying to do this in an order that makes some semblance of sense. I've still been plugging away at my autumn berry. This one right here.
Yeah. How's it looking? Oh, you really plugging.
Yeah. So
It's so pretty.
So this part is done. So I'm working on this part, and I started with one of the leaf things here. It's actually not got that much left to it. The leaves shouldn't take that long. The words at top, but this little side thing, I discovered when I was coming back in to put the yellow, but I missed one of the little green spots right there. Yeah, so it'd be really nice if I could count, if I could, yeah. So, so Friday, we filmed on Thursday last week, and Friday I got a phone call from the attic that my Erica Michaels nativity berry was in. I still have not gotten my other request in. It's been a while. I understand other people are having you know, the companies aren't getting their orders in from Expo.
Oh, how pretty.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And then I picked, of course I don't have it here, for that berry that has the white writing on it. It's blue with white writing.
Yeah, winter or something.
I picked a really pretty blue that I plan to use. You know, that's, you can't see it.
Are all three of them blue?
Yeah, they're bluish colors.
Blue,
yeah.
light blue and dark blue.
Because snow is blue.
That's so pretty. Because
So-
you're blue when you're
Yeah.
cold.
So,
It's nice.
oh, I'll show this last because this is what I'm going to work on. So, but I also, while I was there, I'd been eyeing this pattern since I saw it on Teresa Kogut's Flosstube.
Yeah.
This cat is so cute.
Oh my gosh. I love the swirly stars.
Isn't she adorable? It's so
Let me
cute.
see.
The little pumpkin basket.
And the way her little feet are sticking out from the bottom of the dress.
It's really cute. Oh my gosh.
I like the little tilted head.
Yeah.
Hat.
So
That's really cute.
you will be able to see it. I'll take a picture. But this is Tabby's Halloween, so you've probably seen it. And then as I was walking to go pay for those, I had seen a pattern by the same company, which is Dirty Annie's Southern Style. This pattern is very weird, by the way, but I will explain in a second. But that is a cat looking at a tree and says, "They got me a whole tree." And those of you who've had cats around Christmas trees know that they like to climb them. So I thought that was real funny, but you know, I was amused, but I didn't worry about it. Well, we had filmed the day before. Now, you guys who watched all the way to the end saw my dog eating my flamingo.
Stealing it on camera.
This pattern
so
is
funny.
called Felice Naughty Dog.
Feliz Nutty Dog. That's so great.
And the funny thing is that while it tells you what fabric it was stitched on, and it gives you the colors for the threads, it does not anywhere say what size it is.
Uh-oh.
You just have to count.
I counted it, yeah. But I was just like, it says it ends up being this big by this big. Somewhere it says that. I was like, it depends on what count you're using.
Yeah.
You know, I may not use 32 count. I may use something else. But I had to have it because I do have a naughty dog, as she has proven many times this week. And then I was wanting a thread that I was running out of while I was working on And to All a Good Night. I didn't bring that with me. The only thing different is that I added more sparkly stuff, and I used a little bit of this thread, which was this. I'm using this week's Dye Works Island Breeze instead of the charted color for the houses. And I noticed I had like one strand left, and I have a whole another house to do, and I was like, okay. And because I didn't want this poor little thread to travel alone, and mind you, I could have gone back to the attic, but I didn't. I just said, oh, I remember seeing that they have a Gentle Arts thing that the attic doesn't have. Tried time. And, you know, it's not for the attic's lack of trying. They're just not getting in these colors. A lot of places aren't. I have other Gentle Arts colors that I haven't been able to get anywhere. So I picked that up, and I said, well, you know, I better pick up another icicle because that's the one I use for all the white. Right? Oh, yeah, and I better pick up some Louisiana hot sauce because I forgot to when I was at the attic. And I went ahead and got grits because it's called for in something. And chickpea, which is called for in the autumn berries. I'm not going to use it on this berry that I'm working on, but I will probably use it on the little scarecrow guy. So then I said, those poor threads, they need a pattern.
Keep them company.
No, I had seen on one of the Flosstubes or something with Fat Quarter Shop, she showed that she had gotten a lot of these Chesapeake Bay Treasures patterns in, and I had seen this. This is the seahorses, and I loved it, and I kept going back and looking at it. So when I was ordering the threads, I said, well, isn't it cute?
Yeah, that's really cute.
That's
Isn't it
pretty.
cute? I like seahorses. So it calls for a DMC, well, it calls for Cosmo or something, but they didn't have that. But they had the DMC color version of it, which I did not have. But they had this Cosmos color, which to me looks a lot like DMC.
What is her name? I can't think of her name now off the top of my head. But she uses Cosmo threads like almost exclusively.
And it's also charted for Silks for You. But anyway, so I spent way too much money on patterns and threads this week. Just like way too much money on patterns and threads this week. And lastly, I have been, and this is what I'm going to work on, I have been working on my When Witches Go Riding by Tiny Modernist. I would be a lot further along if I could count. So,
This is a well-established fact.
so I am working on Moon, and then I'll be ready. I think, if I remember correctly, Moon was the cutoff for week 3, but I may be misremembering. But what happened was, you know, I was going up for this N for Moon. I was going up, and I counted up to, and I thought I had done, you know, the one extra one for the, for the top. So it was one stitch shorter than it should have been. And so when I was going down the little thing, I got all the way to the crossbar, the end going down, and went, this is not fitting here, right? Which has been what happened in this whole thing the entire time I've been working on it.
Yeah, like over and over.
Yeah. So I'll be plugging away at this some more to get another day in, because I have 15 days to go. Not 15 days to go. 15 days is the challenge I've given myself, and so far I am 1 day short of whatever this date is. What is today's date?
Today is
The
7th.
7th?
So this is
Yeah.
my This is my 6th day, because I spent 1 day working on that cake,
Which is not a real cake.
which is not a real
Okay.
cake. I'll make a real cake on Sunday.
I'm like, wait.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, that's what I've been working on, and I need this out. Why am I
That's
doing
you?
that?
Are you
That's
done?
me. That's me.
Okay, I guess I'm going next. So, this is what I'm working on right now. I'm working on Hannah's sweater, because I didn't bring my iPad with me to work on my shawl, but I will show you my shawl. Ooh, I just like almost broke my nail and that grossed me out. This is Hannah's sweater. It's getting there. I think it's about almost 12 inches long. I measured last night. And I don't know how long it needs to be. I just keep holding it up and going, is this long enough? But it's not yet. So, yeah, but it sure does look pretty. The striping's nice. I'm still in my first big ball. I still have 2 more of these at home, so we're good. But,
I
anyway,
always have to remember
it's coming on.
that she lives where it's much colder than here.
Yeah, she wants it longer. And so anyway, so this is the bottom, obviously, and come up to the, I'm going to knit up to the armpit. And she wants it a little bit long. So I just plug away at it when I don't have, because I don't have to think about it right now. So that's that. Now, the other thing I've been working on, well, the secret project. I started it because I get obsessed. I get obsessed with things, and I think about it, and I'm like, okay, I want to start this, even though I have all. That's how I have so many WIPs, but I'm like, I'm just gonna start it. So I started it and worked on it for like a day, or really a night, like a couple nights. And got pretty far, like learned the pattern of it and everything, and then I was like, okay, I'm bored with this. No, but I have a longer timetable with that. So, but it was just a fun thing to start, and it's good. Anyway, I will show you all in due time, but that's a secret project. Okay, this is my symphony shawl, which I'm still working on. But look at this pretty. Look, this
Has
last.
the final release come out?
Oh yeah, it's over. Yeah, the knit along has been over for a while, but here's my latest progress. I like this. It's like a chain contrast in there.
I actually
And,
think SAL starts for start along.
But Sal starts for
Start along.
start along. Yeah. So this section, this is that straight edge. Sorry, Beth. This is that straight edge area. It has a couple more. I think a little bit more. Maybe one more clue on this side, and then I start the other side. So I made progress. I made a lot more progress this week. I forced myself to work on it, and got all this purple and then this black done. I have one more contrast, like chain couple rows, and then 2 more black rows, and then this portion is done, and move on to the next section. So it's coming. It's not going to be done. Opening night is in 1 week, and so it will not be done. But it's too hot to wear a shawl anyway.
I saw a TikTok of a guy going, I came out and I was all happy because it was cooler and I was thinking fall and I was so excited, sweaters and, fall.
Yeah.
And I got in my car and looked at the thing and it's 97 degrees.
I know. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm really bummed, though, because I wish I'd had it done. Because our opening weekend is called A Romantic Evening, because it's like romantic music and stuff, which would have been really and I'm going to wear a dress, and it would have been fun to have this, but you know, it's okay.
Well,
Things happen. Life happens.
My friend Kevin posted a thing on Facebook that said, "It's fall" or something like that, and like offer void in Florida.
Yeah,
So,
I know.
you know, and here also where it's gonna be 90. It was 93 today.
I know,
supposedly,
it's
or
too
something.
hot.
Yeah.
It's too hot. Okay, and then I meant to bring this last week when my Aunt Mary Lou came out for my father's funeral. She opened her suitcase. She stayed with me at my house, and she opened her suitcase up, and she said, "Here, I have this for you." She said, "I went to some women's lunch, and I guess they had a raffle or something, and she won." And she's like, she won a prize, and she's like, "What am I going to do with this?" And then she goes, "Oh, I'll give it to Naomi." But look, it's a knitting kit. It came in a box, she said, and she put it in this bag. But it's 4 colors. It's like a, I guess I could get them out. Why not? Oh, this is Swish. It's, this is a Knit Picks kit, which is very good. This is a superwash merino wool, and this color is, I don't know. Oh, here it is. No, white. So this one is unceremoniously called white. This one is very pretty. Oh, honey. It's like a warm yellow. And this is called conch. That's a pretty color. And this one is called Wonderland Heather.
That's pretty.
Isn't that pretty?
I like the pink and the teal.
Yeah, look at that. That's really nice.
It's a good combo.
And I said to her, I was like, "I'll make you something because, you know, these aren't my colors, you know, whatever." And I was like, "What do you want? You want a scarf?" And she's like, "No." I said, "Do you want a hat?" She's like, "No." I said, "What about, I don't know, gloves, mittens?" She goes, "Mittens." I was like, "Okay, mittens." And she also lives where it's cold. And so I spent the better half of, not last night, but the night before, looking.
You're knocking at my door.
Yeah, but anyway, I spent like so long looking at patterns. I think I'm going to do a color work pattern. I think I found one for this weight of wool, because I'm like, I may as well use all 4 colors, you know.
Yeah.
And so, and it'll be pretty. And it came, so this kit, it's a learn to knit kit, and it came with, I'm like, ooh, nice. It came with a nice yarn needle, and these nice wooden straight needles, and a learn to knit book. So, which is very nice, and you learn to make it's part of the kit. So you learn to make a scarf with this. So I may pass these on because my colleague at the symphony, they are very into fashion, and they know how to sew and everything. And I was like, "I'm going to teach you to knit." And Nick said, "Yes, please teach me to knit." And then they saw that crochet top that I made for Hannah.
Mm.
And Nick says, "I really want to make that." And I was like, "I can teach you to crochet. It's actually easier to teach." So I said, I can see us sitting. So, because at the symphony concerts, we work, you know, before 2 hours prior to showtime. Showtime comes, and we have nothing to do until, we have some things to do, but usually there's a lot of downtime between show start and intermission. And so I'm like, that's when we're going to have our lessons. So, but I might pass on this Learn to Knit book and give lessons. Okay, so that's that. And then, you know, last week I went to the mountains, right, to fish. And so I missed the whole spin the alphabet thing. But I went on the way back, on the way down the mountain, I was like, it's Sunday afternoon, they're still open. Can we go to the knits? Can we go to the yarn shop? Mark's like, okay. Like, I'm driving, so guess what? We're going. So, sorry
kind
for
of on your way home.
Yeah. Sorry for the crinkling, but here is 26. Sorry, Beth.
Be careful, don't spill your drink.
Yeah. 26 types of wool from A to Z. So, yeah, I will show you. Sorry for the noise. I didn't want to take it all out because it's not individually wrapped or anything, but you can see this one right here. It's very curly. This is unwashed, uncombed. So this is, we're giving you the experience of cleaning your own wool, which that's not something I'm like, I really want to learn how to do that. I really like processed wool. I mean, you know, these are all processed in a small mill up in Prescott, which is about 2 hours from here, hour and a half. I don't know what it is. But it's all locally processed with, you know, not a lot of chemicals, and it's very well taken care of. So I like that, and it's local. But this one is unwashed, and I realized I could wash it, but I don't have any hand cards to card it. So I'm going to have to figure that out. And that's an M, and that's in my name. So if I wanted to spin Naomi, which you can do, you know, you can spin your name, you could spin another word, you could spin all 26. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. Okay, so I bought this. I don't know what I'm doing with it, but don't tell my husband. So there's all the white is down here, all the various colors of white, and then there's a bag in the bag that is all the colors, which is like grays and browns. I assume they did it this way so that the browns wouldn't catch on all the whites, so you could keep it separate. So, sorry for the crunching. So that's the wool, but look at this! Look at this bag. This is the bag. Mm-hmm. And this embroidery was done by a woman locally. She hired her to do that. It says spin the alphabet. It's got a sheep at a spinning wheel, and around the wheel it's all the letters of the alphabet. Isn't that adorable? And there's a tag here that gives the list of the wools. So I'll take a photo of this so you can see all the different wools and the alphabet letters that they correspond to. And I love this bag. It's got a very long, kind of strangely long, it's almost like you could do it, you know, mm-hmm. over shoulder, or what's it, crossbody? Mm-hmm. So that's nice. So this, I probably will not keep it for spinning. I will keep it for knitting, but I like this bag. That's a nice travel around with your knitting bag, and I love it, and it's beautiful. And then I also got a pin that has the same symbol on it. Let's see. How will you choose to spin the alphabet? Included are a generous 1.5 pounds of fibers from various hands, preps, and mills. Raw, rustic, and refined. There will be old favorites, but also plenty you may have never before had a chance to spin. Spin the alphabet gives you a chance to try fibers from Awasi to Zwartbol sheep. 26 breeds from 15 countries on 6 continents. So that's very cool. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I've got it in my hot little hands. So I think that's me, except for stories. So it's your turn, Beth.
Okay.
And I'm just going to work on Hannah's sweater. Someday.
Pardon me while
someday. Oh, sorry, dog. I just kicked your dog. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to kick you.
Ow! You stepped on me.
Hello, little face.
You see the little face? Little face. Get down.
She's hoping one of us will drop something in her mouth. It's not even late. It's not time for her to eat, but she's trying.
Okay. So I just got this for my birthday.
And you put it in that bag. You put it in this bag.
Yeah. Hey, yeah.
There you go.
And I just got this for my birthday.
There you go.
Just put it in here. So, so for WIP-GO, well, I'm doing the witchy stitchy thing. So the rule is to stitch at least 30 minutes every day, and you post before and after photographs. So I haven't done the today photograph yet. I haven't finished what I've been stitching on today, but I started on the 1st with the rabbit for October, and you can't see it. I mean, up close you could kind of see it. And this is not the only rabbit color. There's, see, you can't see it. And so I'm thinking of like just starting at a different corner of the fabric, so I don't have to pluck this all out yet. But I was thinking about using a different color, because like this is the pattern. So there's this rabbit in acorns, I think is the color, and then there's another rabbit in no, this is not acorn. This is brick and acorn. So there's 2 colors of rabbits in this pattern. So this brick one is this. It looked kind of yellowish on this picture, but it's actually more of a red color, like if you think of a brick. So I might just change this one color. So these are the colors for the pattern, and they all look pretty good against this, except the brick color is very close to this color. And it kind of doesn't look bad when in a big skein like this, but when you do one thread at a time, it doesn't show up. And so what I don't know is if you can see it better if they're with the other things around it, but I don't want to stitch half of the pattern and then find out no, you really can't see it.
Is that brick also what's used on this flower?
Let me see. I don't think so.
I think that you'll be very unhappy if you.
Yeah, it's just used on the. Yeah, it's just used on the rabbit, on that one rabbit. So the one repeating rabbit.
You'll be sad if you do it all and it doesn't.
Yeah, and so I think I'll just change this one color, because I have a whole the whole, like there's about 13 colors that are used for the different patterns. So.
Use that color.
Well, that one's already used. All these are in the pattern.
So you're going to find a different one?
I don't want to use the same one twice. Ooh. For the same rabbit, because the 2 rabbits are different colors. So I want to find a lighter color for that. That'll show up better on this. So anyway, that was kind of a bust. But I did work one whole day on that.
I was going to say, it was discovery.
Yes.
Sometimes you have to discover things.
So then, the other thing I worked on was the Chessie and Me scissor fob, and that is the Beneath the Bow. And I finished it. I have finished. So these are the 2 sides that they go together this way.
So now it's ready to not be fully.
So now, yeah, ready to be un-FFO'd. But yeah. And in the finishing instructions, I think it tells you to make cording or whatever. So, but anyway, so that's this, and this is it's 1 thread over 2, and there's Smyrna crosses in here, just for his eyes. And then straight stitches for the whiskers. And I think the rest of it... Oh, there's satin stitches for the acorn caps. And... Oops, this is upside down. And then Smyrna crosses for the actual acorn. So anyway, this is the picture. They didn't have a picture of the back side of it. But the back side has these 2 little acorns, and then a place where you can put your initials. So I... with an alphabet chart, so I have my initials on there. But the acorns are satin stitched on the little acorn cap, and then the acorn itself is done in Smyrna crosses. And this is very tiny and on linen, very floppy, and so I kind of it's kind of a mess. I really couldn't see what I was doing, and so yeah, and I think the initials are just regular cross stitch, yeah. but like this, so there's the first acorn that was here, and then a second acorn and third acorn, and this third one is probably the best of the three of them, because I was like kind of guessing and kind of making a mess on these, but by the time I got to the third one, I thought, okay, I got this. But so yeah, so
what are you supposed to do with that?
You make a little fob, and then you attach it to your scissors. You make a little cord, and So there's that.
I saw these scissors in the store, and I really liked them because I like flamingos. I hate these scissors. They are so heavy.
Well, I have a pair of scissors like that. They're stork scissors that I got somewhere, and I have.
Are they at least sharp?
Yeah.
I have a couple of pairs of them.
They work fine, but they're so heavy.
I have a couple of pairs of them, and the one that I have out that I was using, is very sticky, like the blades stick together of, and very hard. And I don't know what I was cutting. I was trimming threads on something I finished, and I guess I didn't have the scissors at the right angle or something, and it just kind of shredded the thread. Didn't cut it. I was very mad. But the other thing I've been working on today, after I finished the scissor fob, I picked up, so it was late last night and all day today, another Chessie and Me. This is the bunny sampler. So I'm killing a couple birds with one stone. The sampler September sampler camp, and the witchy stitchy thing. So I'm almost finished with this. I have just the big spider rose flower, and then my initials on a heart, and then filling in all this grass under here. But I finished the green vine thing, and I finished the alphabet. I got the last two letters of the alphabet in, and so I almost finished this bunny. And I was almost done with it when the thread I was using just tore, and it was a problem that I had earlier with this, stitching with one thread over two on this 32 count fabric, with the holes being very tiny, it just basically wears on the thread, and the thread length isn't very long, I don't think, but after a while, you can tell, it starts to get a little fuzzy, and then, like when I was doing this border, it tore at some point, about halfway through, and so this bunny, I was maybe 5 or 6 stitches from the end, and the thread tore. So I have to start a new thread to just finish those little ears, and he'll be done. So he has 1 ear, my 1-eared bunny. But the bunny is 1/2. The alphabet is 1/2. No, 1/1. Excuse me, 1/1 is what I was trying to say. So yeah. So I can't finish the bunny's ear right now because I'd have to be like this, So it's very hard. And the other thing I did was I finished. We filmed on Thursday, and September didn't end till Friday. So but I finished stitching on this. This is Running the Wind, and my magnets are all sticking together. Sorry. So I just did a little bit more stitching on this to finish it up, but. So I finished this goal. This was one of my WIP-GO goals, and that is done. And the scissor fob thing was my another WIP-GO goal, my number 6 WIP-GO goal. So that's done. And so the other WIP-GO project I have is this Christmas towel thing. And I'm working on filling in these deer. There's still a lot, they don't have any antlers yet, and details on their face, and they're they're all wearing a scarf, and so it's it's a little bit hard too because the scarves are white on this white fabric. So I haven't done any of the white yet. So maybe they'll have, you know, ecru scarves or something, so they'll show up a little bit better. I don't know. But I'm sort of doing them all methodically, like, you know, instead of finishing one deer at a time.
Oh, see, I hate that.
I
would have to finish one deer at a time.
So right now I'm working on this lighter brown color on this little rear end and a little stripe across the face. But yeah, that's coming along. And then and I wanted to. Last time I talked about, and I thought I had not brought them out here, but I had them. I just didn't take them out of my tote bag thing. Was well, you know, Eve had mentioned that we went to the attic on Thursday, and of course, because I have a problem
On Friday.
Friday. So I picked up some patterns. I showed those already. Yeah. Did I show this? Magpie and the Moon? Yeah. Well, this one I think I showed before. This is the Autumn's Acorn Gathering with the two fat squirrels. Yeah, I think I showed that one. But this one is by the Blue Flower, Magpie and the Moon. It's very pretty.
Let me see.
Just beautiful, beautiful
Oh, that's
pattern.
nice.
Yeah. Janine McGowan of Blue Flower, she does a lot of really gorgeous, gorgeous patterns. She's the one who did the Parade of Elephants in the Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine, and also the current one, the current issue, the fall issue, A Glaring of Cats. It's the pattern in there. But this one is the latest in the A Year in the Woods. This is the number 10, Little Brown Bat. And I have a sponsored bat at Carlsbad Cameron.
Oh, yeah.
We went there like about 10 years ago.
Look at her. She's looking for something to chew on.
She's looking for a flamingo.
Oh, that is really beautiful.
So when we went
that.
we went to Carlsbad in like 2008, and you know you can go like in the early evening and watch the bats fly out of the cavern. That, you know, they go bug hunting, and so but they have a thing where you can buy a bat, sponsor a bat, and you have a pet bat. You can give it a name and everything. So I went ahead and did that. So one of the bats there in Carlsbad is, you know,
Your
mine.
bat.
But I also bought a little stuffed
Maybe
bat.
it's the one that got eaten by the hawk while we were there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, because they, you know, the hawks know that, hey, there's bats coming in.
Yeah.
And
They would just fly through the cloud of them. Snatch.
But I bought a little stuffed bat in the gift shop there also. So yeah, little brown bat.
That's cute. I really like that.
And then this one I just love, the Seahorse Soiree Biscornu by Heartstring Sampler, Beth Twist Heartstring Sampler. And there's like there's seahorses and whale and octopus and fish and sea turtle and crabs.
That's
all kinds
pretty.
of really cute stuff on there, yeah.
That is really pretty. You know.
And then this one I just couldn't resist.
That's funny.
Mantis Life. This is by Ink Circles, and it says "Love, Pray, Eat."
But pray with an E.
Yeah, pray, or P-R-E-Y.
Instead of eat, pray, love.
Yeah.
I love that.
And there's a little
that.
mantis on there. So.
Excuse you.
And so the Classic Colorworks threads that are
Don't growl.
in there, Rainy Day, Pickle Beets, Honeycomb, I picked those up while I was at the attic, and I have them here somewhere, but yeah. So there's that. But then I had mentioned, like I said, these Mousecapades patterns, and I did find out that the 7th one is not out yet. It has not been released yet. But so this is the Mousecapades set. this mice on ice, little mice ice skating. Just so cute. And this on the housetop, there's a mouse skiing down that gumdrops on the house, on the gingerbread house with a deer jumping with him. And this one, a snow mouse. They have these two mice built a little snow mouse. And this one is reindeer games.
Oh my gosh, they're so cute.
It's just adorable. And these are by Misty Purcell of Luminous Fiber Arts. And this is Filling Santa's Bag. And this number 6, Trimming the Tree. You can't see it very well, but there's sort of a minty green
We'll
tree.
show
Yeah,
a picture.
tree in there. Even close up, it doesn't show up real strong, because it's almost the same color as the background fabric, but it's really cute. So the one mouse is standing on the back of the reindeer. Anyway. So there's that, and if you go on the Luminous Fiber Arts website, there's a free downloadable PDF border patterns. So if you want to stitch it all in one tableau, it has a suggested layout.
Oh, how cute!
For so there's a middle one that is longer. So you could do 1, 2, 3 in the middle one, and 4, 5, 6 on the bottom. So yeah, so you can make like little individual pillows, or you can do them all in one fell swoop. And I'm not sure how I'm going to do them yet, or when. but yeah, I thought they were so cute. Ever since she first started talking about them, I was like, I have to get my hands on those. So yeah, so
there's one more.
Yeah, so there's one more that has not been released yet. The number 7, the long one. Yeah.
How neat.
But I think that's everything I've been doing. It's
quite
not
a bit.
enough. Yes.
Oh my gosh! Stop buying patterns, Beth.
She's infected me with that.
Like.
It's somewhere in here.
It's like I don't you ever think like in the future, like when all things are stitched, you're never going to be done.
Well,
So I always have
I
something
told
to
her,
do.
True.
don't do a WIP-GO next year. Do a finish go. Because she has so many things that are beautiful that she's stitched.
Yeah.
And
That are all in a bag.
And
That's a shame.
and she
Bags.
has and almost every time we go to like Target or something, she buys finishing stuff. She's got tons of really cute finishing things. She's got her tiered tray all ready to go, except there's nothing on it because she hasn't finished any of her stuff. And so, her finished stuff that she has mostly is she used to frame everything.
Well,
Somewhere I
and
have-
she's got several pillows.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're behind on that.
Yes, I am.
Well, I'm behind too.
Well, I'm behind on
But-
everything. So.
Yeah.
What am I gonna say? Okay, so fishtails. So first of all, observe the shirt. It says, "The river is calling, and I must go." Colorado River, Arizona. It's my prize I brought because that's how I feel. I have a couple pictures. One, we didn't take a lot of fish pictures because the fish were biting, and we did get. I think we each caught. I lost track, like 4 or 5, and I know I lost at least 2, and Eli lost a couple that were on fish. They were on the hook, and then they whoop. But so it was good. It was a good day. I think better than our guide had expected. So he was happy. But we didn't take the fish out of the water very long because their water is too warm. Yeah, and it stresses them out. So we got one good picture, but it was a miracle. He was like, "Let's see if we can pull this off," because Eli and I caught fish within seconds of each other. And so, well, I think I caught one first, and so David come up to the front to try to net it, and I was reeling it in, so we were waiting, and then Eli caught one. And he's like, he goes, you're on your own. I'm going to go help him. So I was just kind of playing the fish, letting it swim nearby while he pulled Eli's up in the net, and then he came over. I actually, oh, that's right. It's very funny because he was Eli and they were in the back of the boat, and so I kind of guided my fish over to where Dave was, and he netted it. And he goes, put your rod down. I don't care what happens to it. I don't care if it falls in. Put it down and get back here. So I put it on the bow because I was way up on the bow. And I got down and went to the back, and we each held our fish up. So here's the photo. And he's like, it's a miracle. This never would happen. That we both caught a fish at the same time, and we were able to net them both and hold them both and take a photo of both. So he's like, send me that picture. So, and then I'm going to show you another picture with another fish Eli caught. Dave is holding it, but you see the Rex fly? I think I talked about that. Mm-hmm. It's like a system that holds the rod on Eli's chest so that he can reel it in.
He looked really happy with that.
Yeah, it worked very, very well. And Dave was fantastic, because I sent him the video of how it worked, so he thought about it before we got there, and then, we worked with it all day, and he really felt like it was a great thing. So I sent photos of those photos to the Rex fly guy, Rex Wang, who invented it. And I was like, this was really great, and I want to encourage you. And he started following me on Instagram, so that's fun. So we had a great time. Mark came with us, and he enjoyed the scenery. He's like, after a while, I was a little bit bored. He goes, I still don't want to fish. I'm like, how could you feel that way? But, he didn't, I don't know. I know, but I mean, when you feel that tug, the tug is the drug, right? So
I remember catching fish when I was young.
I know, but it's such a neat feeling. And they're so beautiful. And I really felt like I connected with my dad while I was there. And
for me,
it's really nice.
the look on their little faces when they're going, no, thank you.
But they were beautiful.
Well,
and they were much smaller this year.
To explain how I feel about that, I was looking for a video of something else, and a video on YouTube came up of a bull at that running of the bulls. Okay,
that's different.
And, no, he didn't get stabbed or anything. Well, he got hurt, but they let him out. It was a beautiful, beautiful bull. You could tell he was well fed, well cared for, beautiful bull. But for some reason, they let him out up higher than the street.
Oh.
Maybe so that he would charge faster. I don't know. But when he got down to the street, I think he broke his pelvis. They said he broke his legs. He couldn't move his back legs at all.
That's not what happens to the fish I caught.
And he was struggling to try to run.
Oh, man.
And I can't unsee that, and
that is not at all, especially fly fishing, catch and release. That is not at all.
I can't.
What it's like at all.
I can't. Well, like even with my dog, right now she is prancing around our feet. She is starving, not because I haven't fed her. I don't even feed her less than what she's been getting. But she's taking prednisone, so she is starving all the time. And one of the pauses that we did, I went and gave her some green beans because it's not time to feed her yet. But she's hungry all the time. And it hurts me to not have, that's how come I know that I can give her some green beans. But you can't explain to them, I'm sorry, you can't have any of what I'm having because it's chocolate cake. Yeah, so I don't know. Since I don't want to eat them and I don't like to eat them, I just don't want to pull them out of the water.
Well, we let them go, make sure they were fine. And
I understand that no fish were hurt in this activity.
Well, they weren't.
As far as you know.
A little bit hurt because they had hooks. But anyway, I had a great time. Don't ruin it for me.
But see, I have no problem with other people going fishing. I have no problem with other people going hunting. I have no, I do have a problem with the running of the bulls. But, I have no problem with these outdoor activities involving animals because I just don't. But they're just not for me,
Yeah. Well, it was beautiful, and I had a wonderful
And
time.
the pictures, the look on Eli's face, fantastic.
Yeah. Mark, we pulled into that canyon, and he was just like, oh my gosh. Because when you get in at Lee's Ferry, now here's a photo of us at Lee's Ferry at the end of the day. Dave took a picture of the three of us. And you can see behind us, like, and it's hard to see from the photo, but when you go to the dock at Lee's Ferry, it's, it's very pretty nondescript. And you can't really see the canyon beyond to the left, that's Glen Canyon, and you can't really see Marble Canyon, which turns into the Grand Canyon to the right. It's kind of a limited view. So we get in the boat, and I don't know, Mark had seen my pictures from last year, so he kind of thought he knew what to expect, but it's different when you're sitting there and these walls of the canyon go so high, like up, like it's just amazing. And so we start motoring up, and he's like, we're going to go up. So we went all the way, 15 miles, all the way to the dam before he stopped. And we anchored there, and that's when we set up our lines and worked on everything. And then we basically floated up and down, mostly down, the rest of the day. So, but
it's really a good thing that, how he knows where the fish are going to be.
Oh yeah, and the thing is like we fished the same spots we fished last year, so it wasn't, because he knows every inch of that river. He's been there for, I don't know, since he was 16. He's been on the Colorado River, and but anyway, as we were driving up the canyon, I happened to look over at Mark, and he was like, it's so beautiful, and you can look at photos, but until you're there, you feel so small, and it's amazing. So we had a lot of fun. And then, but when we went up on Friday, and I think I had mentioned that I couldn't get a room at Marble Canyon Lodge, right? Mm-hmm. But they said there's a film crew coming, and they're supposed to reduce their numbers, so it's possible, so call back. So I called back, and I got a room. So I knew there was a film crew. I didn't know, she didn't say what kind of film crew for what. So when we get there, it's a very small little lodge, and it's basically like a U shape. And our room was in the back right corner, right on the corner. And the guy said, you enter through this hallway, but the room has a patio that has access, closer access to your car. So like there's like a sliding glass door. You could walk out on the patio, walk down the steps into the parking lot. So, but in that lot behind it was full when we got there of cars and old cars, like that didn't really quite run, like old movie cars that they had to push into the place, and then like movie trailers and spotlights and a big awning and tables and chairs where I assume people ate, and and then another trailer over here, and another trailer over there, and a car trailer with old cars on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, what kind of film crew is this? Like a movie? I thought it was going to be like a documentary film crew, you know what I mean? Because you think Grand Canyon, whatever.
Probably a Western.
So, so then we go to the room, and we're getting settled. And Eli goes, someone's sitting on our porch. Because each room had a porch with tables, a table and a couple chairs.
That's not creepy.
Yeah. So it was a woman, and I was like, no. I knew it was somebody from this film crew, and I was like, no, this is our room. That's my porch. I paid for that porch. So I opened the door, and I said, "Hi, sorry, this is our room, our private room." And she goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry," in English accent. She's like, "I'm so sorry. My husband was sitting here with his client," I think is what she said earlier. So she just thought that you could sit there.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, no, sorry, it's our room." And she's like, "Oh, sorry, so sorry." And I said, "What are you guys filming?" And she said, it's a show for Amazon, and as for Amazon Studios." Mm-hmm. And I was like, "What's it called?" And she said, "Wilderness." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And so I go look it up, and I guess it's a series. I think that's coming out in 23. And it said, "We just started filming," and I'm like, "Yeah, right here." So and then later when it got dark, there was a dude. I assumed it was her husband, because he had the same English accent, sitting there with his laptop. And I opened the door. I said, "This is our private room," because like I could see him through our little shades or whatever,
which
and
meant
I was
he
like,
could see you.
right. And I'm like, hello, go tell your people that this room is now occupied. Maybe they had the whole bank or something.
Yeah.
I know there was one other family further down that, and then then Friday night, they were all out there, and they turned on this giant spotlight, like as big as this table. It was up, and I thought, and there was a screen kind of behind it, so, because there were houses right over there, and I thought, boy, if I was in that house and that light, I was so angry. But so then I looked out at one point, and that light was on, and there was just the biggest swarm of bugs you'd ever seen. Now, the whole time that we were on the boat, that we were there, I never saw a bug. I never got bit. I think one little bug got under my glasses, kind of thing. But I didn't see any bugs. But around that light, man, it was just... And I was like, good, keep the bugs over there. But by late that night, they were pretty much packing up. And when we got up in the morning, they were starting to move out. And by the time we got back from fishing, they were completely gone. And I read about it. The story is, I guess, some woman... and it finds out that her husband is cheating, and he says, "Let's travel through all the national parks in the United States." And she says, "Okay, so that we can go down the Grand Canyon and I can kill you," basically. Apparently, this is the story. So be on the lookout. I won't be in any of the footage, but when you watch Wilderness, you can think of me and the beautiful scenery around there. So that was an interesting thing. But no, we had a good time. Boy, my legs and my knee is still a little bit upset. Ooh, she's growling. She's so hungry. My knee is a little bit upset because I was on the bow of the boat, and I was sitting. So when he would move, so what he would do is he would go to a spot. We would get ready, we would fish, and he would drift the boat downstream, but with the motor in a controlled way. And so we would fish and just let the flies, naturally float down the river. And we'd get to a certain point, he knew we were out of fish territory or whatever, or we'd catch something or whatever, and then he would drive back up. But when he drove back up, I couldn't be standing.
Yeah.
So I would sit down on the very front of the boat and kind of just hold on, because of course if there was another boat coming down, we'd smack on the wake. And so I had to sit down, and this where I was sitting was only like this high or so off the floor. So I was really, and then he would get to the spot and he'd say, "Okay, get ready." So I had to stand up fast. I couldn't be like, "Let me crawl over here." And, So I was just getting up, and so my knees by the end of the day, I was really hurting. My arm was sore. My whole arm got sore because when we would travel, I would be since I was facing backwards, the wind would blow my rod this way, and so I was holding it in this hand this way, and I didn't realize how tightly I was holding it so that it wouldn't whip out of my hands. That night and the next day, if I twisted my arm like this, it would wrench right here.
Yeah.
But it was so much fun, and it was good. It was a good time. It was good to go, and yeah. So that was my fishtails.
Naomi and I had a concert that we basically sight read on Tuesday because of everything with my dad and various circumstances. We ended up going to one rehearsal fairly early on, I guess, or not the first rehearsal, but maybe the
No, we missed 2.
Yeah,
Because Dad was home in hospice, and then it was Eli's birthday.
Yeah,
and we went to one rehearsal, and then the next week
was.
Why didn't we go the next?
Because of the memorial.
I know we missed.
Oh, it was the night before the memorial.
Yeah.
Right, and I had to get ready.
And so then we went to. So the next rehearsal was the dress rehearsal, and then the concert. The next.
But the problem is that first rehearsal we went to, we only rehearsed one piece.
Yeah.
So at the dress rehearsal was the first time we ever rehearsed the other 2 of the other pieces, and we're like, ah! And of course I hadn't practiced. I could have practiced, and I didn't.
But so we did the concert. Basically
the concert was the following week. Yeah, it was this last Tuesday.
Well, when I played with the symphony, we would sometimes do that. We would read through stuff, one rehearsal, and then we would do the performance. But this is all music that we had played before or whatever,
and you were
relatively
playing.
Yeah. But so this was.
We're quite out of shape.
Yes.
So,
well, there was like toward the end of the one Von Williams piece we were playing, really nice little thing, and but like toward the end of that, I was like feeling my mouth was like cramping up, feeling like I was like, oh my god, I still have the Dvorak at the end. It's a big, it's a big blow, as we used to say, and but so fortunately there was one piece, this Copeland piece, that I was like,
I played by myself.
Naomi played by herself, so I had that whole piece to rest my face, so I was able to do.
I mean, it went okay, but I did not play my best.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah,
and this sassy one texts me, "Good luck on your sight reading concert." I'm like, shut up.
But
just because it's true doesn't mean you can say it out loud.
So,
but I was saying that I was planning on. I have this little ganglion or something on my wrist right here, and I was thinking about it was very it was larger and it was more painful, giving me a lot of pain earlier this year in August, I guess, and so I had gone to get it looked at and consulted with the doctor and but when I went after I had an MRI done, and after the MRI, he was looking at it, and by then it's gone down a little bit. It's not as large or as painful as it was. So I went ahead and put myself on the surgery schedule because the idea was that if I decided not to do it, then I could cancel it, whatever. But so they kept trying to tell me, well, we have room on the tent, and I'm like, that's my birthday. I don't want to do it on my birthday. And so we had settled on the 13th, and the lady said, well, when it gets closer to the date, we'll call you with a specific time, whatever. And so then they called me on Friday, and the girl in the scheduling office said, well, we have the 10th available, and I was like, no, I don't want to do it on my birthday. And so she said, well, I'll call you back. I said, because I'd like to do it on the 13th if possible. And so she said, well, we'll call you back. I'll call you back. And then they never called me. This was on Friday. At the end of the day, they had never called me. So finally, I guess, I don't know, Wednesday, I guess. I called them, and Naomi, because Naomi and I had talked about it, and I thought, well, I don't know how much time I'll have to take off on the 13th, and you're going to have to take off because you're going to have the heart procedure thing, and so
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to play.
yeah, so
So we would really mess them up again.
yeah, so I thought, well, that so she suggested that I do it in December, and so I finally went ahead and called the surgery people because they weren't calling me back yet, and so I said, well, I'd like to change it to December, and it looks like the only date they have in December is like closer to the 19th or something like that. But that'll give me some time before our next rehearsal in January.
Yeah.
So I'll have time to recover. But again, they're supposed to call me back with a specific time.
No. Or are you going to say, Eve? Were you going to say something?
Yeah. So this past summer, I fell out by the pool. I think I mentioned it.
Mm-hmm.
And I had told my pain management doctor and a physical therapist and the primary care doctor, everybody, that as the summer progressed, this never stopped hurting right here. And this past weekend, like Saturday, Sunday, it got really bad, where it hurts if I turn my head this way. I was having shooting pains, even just trying to stitch. And so finally, they were like, okay, yeah, maybe we need to get some imaging on that.
Mm.
So, that's one of the reasons why I didn't finish that little chicken cake was because
It's hurting.
that's what I was stitching when I couldn't move my arm.
Mm.
Beth's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, my arm hurts. I don't know. And my physical therapist said, well, I can give you some, I don't want to do this today because it's too inflamed, but I want to give you some exercises you could do at home, but it's still hurting a lot. I put some ice on it. That's helping a little bit, but I can't take. The doctor today was going, well, have you thought about taking some aspirin, ibuprofen, anything like that? I'm like, no, because I'm allergic to it, which is, by the way, in my records, but he's a new doctor. So, not being able to turn my head to the left will cramp my driving quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I don't know what's going to happen if Naomi's, can't drive and I can't drive and somebody has to go somewhere. So,
well, my driving restriction is only going to be for 24 hours. So, but yeah, so one of the reasons I'm doing this whole
It
thing.
sucks getting old.
I know. What I'm having done is a implantable loop recorder put in next Tuesday. And because I had AFib in 2019 and they did an ablation and it seemed like it had gone away, but I'm still having symptoms occasionally, but I also have other arrhythmias, so I can't tell the difference. And when I first had it in 2019, I couldn't tell the difference. I thought it was just my regular palpitations, arrhythmias just being more frequent, and it turned out it was AFib. So I get symptoms and I don't know what they are, and I've worn Holter monitors and stuff, but I always say my heart is allergic to stickers, so when I'm wearing stickers, I don't have symptoms. So one doctor said, well, just wear the stickers.
yeah.
So anyway, so and my whole goal, because I'm like, do I really want to do this? My whole goal is to prove that I am not having AFib, or if I am, to possibly maybe have a second ablation or something. And then, because my whole goal in life is to take ibuprofen again. Because the only reason I can't take it is because I'm on a blood thinner, because I have a history of AFib. So if I can prove that I don't have it, I can go off my blood thinner, and then I'll be able to take ibuprofen. Right now, my heart doctor says, because I said, please, can I take just one dose occasionally when things get really bad? And he's like, one dose. You know, so I have to decide, is this the day? Am I hurting enough to do this? Because my neck's been really bad lately, and just, I don't know why, arthritis or who knows. And the other day we got back from fishing, and I guess fishing and driving and sleeping in a weird bed, my neck was so bad. I told Mark, I'm either going to have to take the muscle relaxer, or I'm going to take one dose of ibuprofen. And he's like, why don't you try the ibuprofen first? I'm like, okay. So I took 2 ibuprofen, and I went to bed, and I woke up a new person. It was so nice. It's like,
ibuprofen is my drug of choice.
I know, I miss it.
I miss ibuprofen.
But so that's happening on Tuesday. I think of it like a chip for dogs, but they're gonna put it right here.
The doctor today, because he gave me some referrals, one for an orthopedic doctor and one for a pulmonologist, and he said, you need to call them today. I didn't call today, I'll call on Monday, but because today was just, yeah. Anyway, he said, you need to call today because it's already October. He said, doctors like to go away, for Christmas and stuff like that. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, I know. So, and a specialist like that, sometimes it takes a long time to get in. So
it does. But what was I gonna say? So I called the doctor's office a while ago when they scheduled this, and I was like, how much is this going to cost? What will my portion of this be, right? Because I had a CT scan the other day, and I had to pay $200, So I was like, I need to know how much it is. And they're like, they didn't tell us. They said that you don't need a pre-authorization, and it'll just be a $25 copay, but they didn't tell us your coinsurance on this procedure. And I was like, there has to be something. So she sent me the actual code that they used to bill. So yesterday I called my insurance company because I'm like, I need to get it from the horse's mouth. I need to know, whatever it's going to cost is fine, but I want to walk in knowing what it's going to cost. Well, and because what the doctor's office says was we'll bill for it, and then they will, tell us how much they'll pay, and then we'll tell you, right? And I'm like, I'd rather know ahead of time. So they gave me the code, and I called the insurance company, and she looked it up, and she's like, no, it's just the $25. She almost sounded like she couldn't believe it. She's like, it's just the $25 copay. And I was like, really? Are you sure? I said, I've lived so long with crappy insurance, I don't know what to do when I have something like actual good insurance.
That's the one thing I don't know is if...
how much the surgery will be?
Yeah, because...
you better find out.
Yeah.
You should call and find out.
Yeah, because I don't, with Medicare or whatever, even though I have Medicare Advantage or whatever, that I don't know what it'll cover and what it won't cover.
Yeah, you should find out
it's,
so you don't get I just didn't want any surprises.
Yeah, I don't know if it's considered.
Yeah, I still kind of think in the back of my mind that I'm going to get a bill at some point for this, but so today at work I had looked up the loop recorder. I had before, but I was just looking at it and looking at images of them and seeing what it was like, and people holding them, they're like this big in their hand, and and everything. And my colleague at work goes, "Is that what you're having done?" I'm like, "Yes." Part of me is like, "Do I really need to have it done? Why am I doing this?" But then I remember when I smashed my finger, my heart went nuts. And I even said to the HR manager was trying to get me ice, and I'm sitting there holding my finger, and my heart's just going blah, 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 all over the place. And I was like, I'm wasting this. This should be recorded.
Well, I'll happily smash your finger if
Yeah.
you get it put in.
Yeah. You know, every time I walk through those doors at work, I instinctually just pull my fingers in like this and walk through the doors like this. And I went through the doors today and there were 2 people coming out and I like just go, like get out of my way. And then the boss of my boss was walking through the door and he was walking through one and the other one was swinging and I was like, don't smash your finger.
So
I'm so traumatized by that
So
door.
I don't like being on little boats. Cruise ships I don't mind because you kind of feel like you're in a hotel. But what creeps me out about being on boats is stepping from the dock onto the boat.
Yeah.
Where your one foot is on land and one foot is on something that's doing this. And because my legs are short, for me that is sometimes very scary because I'm like, my foot doesn't reach. So, I took some cruises a long time ago, Star Trek cruises. The Star Trek actors were on them. And so to go up the gangplank, I would have to go up fast because I didn't want to look down and see the water. And I went on an excursion, and when I came back, there was like a backlog, and I'm standing over the water on this thing going, get out of the way, get out of the way. And what was holding people up was Will Wheaton singing Love Boat to everybody as they went onto the ship. And he's singing to me, and I went, that's really sweet, but I need to get on the boat. Because I was like, and it's so stupid, and I know it's stupid. I'm safe. I'm not going to fall in the water. I just, I don't like being on that little gangplanks. When you see it in the movies, it's a big white thing. No. The one when you're first getting on at the dock that you get on and off, that one is larger. But the ones that they put out for you to get on and off on excursions is not. And when you're trying to get on a tender, which is a boat that takes you, some places the ship can't get all the way to a dock. So they have a little tender that comes out to you, and you get on this boat, and it takes you to the dock, and then you get off of the dock and go on your excursion. And one of these, the tender was moving like this, and I'm trying to get my foot where I can get it, and I'm standing on one leg with my foot raised to get on the tender, and I could not get it across that gap to get on, and I'm like, ah! So
there's a series that I guess I've seen a little bit of it. I know I have a couple of these old DVDs or whatever, but they're the Horatio Hornblower stories, and so they made a series of I don't know. I guess they're little miniature movies or something. They're like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, something like that. But there's a whole bunch of them. So I've been watching them off and on, and there's one I'd forgotten about. There was one I don't remember what it was called, but there's a scene where this guy, I think he's a doctor of some kind, but they're picking him up, and in order to get him from the tender little boat up into the ship, rather than having him climb up the ladder or whatever the way most people would, they put him in this thing and hoist him onto the ship. But it's like a he's standing in it, so he's kind of like in this, it's kind of like a bag, whatever. So his feet are down inside it, and this little, thing comes up to his body like that, and they lift him up off of the boat, and,
oh my God.
like cargo, that's what Eve needs.
I kept envisioning when we were on that boat, when we were flying up the river, and another boat would go by, and the wake would come across, and literally we would slam, and I would reach down and grab hold of the bow of the boat, and I'm on there, and I'm just flying, and you know how you just like picture things, like you just picture cartwheeling off the boat. Like, I can swim, it's okay. But also Eli was in the very back of the boat, and I was like, what if he just goes bloop into the water? But we were all okay.
We need to go because my dog is telling me that it's time.
And I need to go because my stomach is telling me that it's time.
Yeah,
I'm very hungry.
I'm
hungry too, Rogue.
She's complaining and whining and
So,
growling.
next week our lives will change because hi, Rogue.
Hi, little dog.
He's so cute. Can you see her?
Why
Oh,
to be in
you
the
moved
video too?
There she is. Hi, Rogue. Are you so hungry? Yeah, because like next week as the symphony season starts, so like next Friday I work from 8:45 in the morning until 9 at night, all day. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And all of November we have concerts every weekend. I work the day before Thanksgiving, and the day after I do another 12-hour shift.
She's saying enough.
Okay, done.
Mom said she'd feed me.
She's shaking.
I know. She's vibrating.
Well, thanks for joining us. Happy birthday, Beth. And we will see you next week. Bye.